All right, what you're going to see here are a bunch of lights flashing and running down the road. Well, this is the Ragnar. I think it's like from the lake to the ocean or something like that. Relay race, Ragnar Relay race. Happens every end of summer or fall. It's a pain in the ass, sort of. The route comes down our very sleepy country road, and generally it wouldn't be a big deal, but as you can see, it's pitch black, and not because it's just nighttime. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and this goes on from about 1 a.m. in the morning till daybreak. First light, anyway. And you think, well, how bad can it be? Well, when you have coonhounds, when you have dogs, it's a freaking nightmare. I recall the first time this happened, probably 5 or 6 years ago, when they modified the route to come down our road in Canterbury. What you're looking at, that red dot down there in the background there, they put up these signs with blinking red lights on them that say relay in 2 miles or stuff like that. So that's what that is. That's what that red dot is down there. I put a DJI action cam on the utility pole right at the end of our driveway. So that's what you're seeing. Now, on the light, you can see the next utility pole down there light up. We put a trail cam on that, but nothing came out on it. I don't know why. So, you may say, well, what's this video all about? Well, it's my desire to rant about this goddamn race that wakes me up for 4 hours every year because the dogs will not shut the fuck up. That's what this video is all about. The first time the race came by the house, there were no signs. I didn't even know. They didn't do signs back then. Just all of a sudden, I heard people talking, and I look out of my window, and there were a couple of vans with Christmas lights strung all over them. Now this year, you don't see any of that on these cars going by. But the first year, every car that came by had Christmas lights strung all over them. And they were blinking, and my dogs lost their minds. I thought for a while, maybe I just let them go outside. Let them run out in the front yard and just let them scare the shit out of these people as they ran by. Well, of course, I couldn't do that. But I wanted to. Oh, I wanted to. But I didn't. I tried putting pillows on each side of my head. It was still warm, so all the windows were open. I closed the windows up in the entire house. Now, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm pissed off. That didn't help. Well, it did help. It helped make the house miserable. So I got up again and opened all the windows. But especially Blue, that 100-pound red-bone coonhound, every time someone came by the house. I mean, he could hear him 100 yards away. He would jump up on the bed and just start baying, and you would just start to fall asleep, and up you would go. And then Belle would chime in. And they both would run downstairs, go to the door, wreak havoc until the runner passed by. Then they'd turn around, clip-clop up the steps, jump on the bed, and wait for the next runner. Well, this vid's about 15 minutes long. I'm going to make you suffer through it the way I have had to. Now, here's the thing. I guess running is a thing. People like to run. I don't get it. I mean, I think having the ability to run away from something is important. Like, let's say you're being chased by a mongoose. And the mongoose is pretty quick, so you better be quicker than the mongoose. So I guess, you should have the skills to be able to run. Got to be able to run from the police. I mean, that's a thing. I mean, yeah, you should be able to become mobile at a quick pace. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, really, how important is this? How important is it that we disrupt? I mean, it can't be just me. This race goes up and down these old country roads. It has to piss off a lot of people. It's got to spark the annoyance of many a dog. Now, you're seeing all these cars go by. These cars are not traffic on the road. They're, quote, support vehicles, unquote, for the runners. Now, what they have done this year is not as bad because normally they pace the runner that they're supporting. And that just makes the dogs go out of their minds. Well, I mean, there's not much I can do about it. Well, I mean, I could call and raise a stink. There's a couple people up and down this road where that sign and blinking red light that I alluded to earlier, some of those signs in front of, like the rich fucker that lives down the road in his big old McMansion, he had a sign out in front of his place that said, quiet zone. Yeah, fuck you. Fuck you in your quiet zone. I was going to go down there and steal it and take it down and put it in my house. But I didn't, of course, but I wanted to. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Inside of the hearts of men, there's lots of stuff going on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll bet. Well, I'm not even going to say the darkness that goes on through my head when I become really annoyed. But there's not a guy out there that doesn't know what I'm talking about. So, that old rich fucker that lives down the road with his quiet zone sign, all right. He probably called up, probably had his wife call up and say, oh, we're old. We can't deal with this. We need you to be quiet. This is unbearable. We're old. We're rich. We'll sue you. I don't know what they said. But it worked. They got a quiet sign. I didn't get a quiet sign. All I got a sign was just a, you know what they are? They're kind of like those big cones. Like a traffic cone with a blinking red light on top. Are any of you old enough to remember out there, when I was a kid, if there was, let's say there was a hole in the road that they had to fix and they'd put up a couple of like sawhorses, you know, that said danger or something on them. But they would have these things that were the size of a bowling ball that had flames on the top of them. They were some kind of, probably filled with diesel fuel. But those were the markers. And they would just set them out, they would light them, and they'd burn all night, or longer, I suspect. Anybody remember those? I'm remembering these from Ohio back in the 60s. Maybe the 70s. Maybe. I don't know. But you remember those things? Well, anyway, down there, that little red light thing that's blinking, that's like a yellow traffic cone with this blinking light attached to it. The same kind of red blinking light you would have on a bicycle. It just clips on. I went down and looked at it. I wanted to beat the shit out of it with my 35 Willie Mays solid ash baseball bat. But I didn't. I wanted to, but I didn't. That's right. All men live in quiet desperation. I think it's Tennyson. Not sure. All right. So I don't know how many people have gone by, but this vid's about almost 16 minutes long. I did do a time lapse. So it's probably, I'm going to say maybe 2 hours. This is 2 hours of what occurred recently that night of the Ragnar Relay race. And it went on for, 4 hours. It was twice as much. And again, ordinarily, there would not have been one car down this road this time of night. Oh, except for like around, 2:30 when that one guy's trying to make it home after being at the bar. That guy. There's one of those. But there's no traffic on this road. Not at night. Not on a Saturday night. We go to bed. We roll up the sidewalks. Of course, you can see we don't have any sidewalks. We roll up the sidewalks and we go to bed because we know, as good country folks, nothing good happens past, about, I'm going to say, 10 o'clock. Only evil happens after 10. Like this, the goddamn fucking Ragnar Relay race. Boo! That's all I hear all night long. Boo! Boo! The hounds howling. I should have recorded it. Just so you would have to suffer with me through this. Well, all right. I guess I got it out of my system. At least until next year. And they are getting better. The people that put on a race, it's a lot better. It's not nearly as noisy as it was in previous years. So, okay, I'm just thinking out loud here. That's all I'm doing. I'm just thinking out loud. But God damn it, couldn't you race during the day? No. All right then. this is about the end of it. I'm just gonna say, all right, it's not that big a deal. I'll get over it. It'll be fine.